I was trying to put something in the comments because I wanted to tell you all, thank you, first of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. For those of you all who have already donated to this project, guess what happened? Your donations allowed me to start filming last week. I was able to get a film crew. I was able to get inside of the studio. I had a makeup artist, and it was amazing. It was such an amazing experience, and I would not have been able to do that without the contributions that all of you all have been making to Trauma to Triumph. So I just want to thank you once again. If you've already donated to Trauma to Triumph, I am so overly grateful for you. If you haven't donated yet, but you're looking for an opportunity to do so, hey, I put the information in my comments. I am really trying hard to get more filming done. I am really trying hard to go to some conferences for this project. There are a lot of things that I really want to do to make this the most amazing mission ever, so that we can heal people through the sharing of our stories and change the lives of millions of people. And again, as with anything great, it takes time, commitment, and money. And so we ran out of money, but y'all came to my rescue, and I'm so grateful. The Cash App donations and the PayPal contributions that have been coming in, again, helped me to be able to film last Wednesday, and I cannot wait to show y'all what we did. We did it. And so again, I do have to have more filming done. There are other things that need to get done with this project. So I appreciate you all so much for your donations and for your prayers and just, sticking with me throughout this project. So again, my name is Terry Long. I am the woman behind Trauma to Triumph. So it's Trauma, the number 2, Triumph. And what we're doing is we are using the wisdom that we have acquired through our experiences, good, bad, and the ugly. And the wisdom is the legacy that we're leaving for others that weren't brave enough to share their stories. We have to leave a legacy, and legacy doesn't always mean money. The legacy is our wisdom that those of us who've gone through trauma, we're able to share with others how we got to triumph. And triumph doesn't always mean wealthy or rich or successful. Triumph for many of us just means I'm alive and I made it through, and I still have a heart that beats. I still have love. I still have breath. That's triumphant for so many of us. So trauma doesn't always mean that I'm successfully wealthy or anything like that. So if you know someone who would love to share their story of how they transitioned from trauma to triumph, please send them to me. My email address is info@trauma2triumph, DOC.com. So it's trauma2triumph, DOC.com. I have a website as well. You can go to www.trauma2triumph, DOC.com. Thank you so much. And tonight's guest is Dr. Shenetta, and I cannot wait for you all to meet her. I met this woman about 2 to 3 weeks ago at the Ubiquitous Women's Expo. I fell in love with her energy immediately, and I knew that I wanted her to be a part of this project. So I'm grateful for her yes, and I'm going to try to bring her in now. If I can get her. Dr. Shenetta, I am trying to, let's see. There you are. Let's see. Let's make sure that worked. And see.
Yep.
Did it work?
Boom, Queen. Hello, hello, hello. Good
Hi.
evening.
How are you?
So
I gotta
I'm
turn my volume
absolutely
up.
amazing. You're okay. So I am transitioning. I just got finished filming today, so I'm on my way back from New York and heading back into the rain. So I'm excited to be with you tonight, and thank you again for the invitation. This is
Thank
just
you.
power.
Thank you so, so very much. I don't know how much you was able to listen to before I pulled you in so you can know what this project is all about. We talked about it a little bit prior to now. I'm just very grateful for your yes. So thank you.
Thank you. No,
Thank you.
I'm excited for everything that you're doing. So I just thank God for just supplying all of your needs and just everything that you're coming into, the lives that you're going to touch. And there's more that's to come. So don't even worry about the finances or anything else, because everything that you need is already provided for you. So because you're giving individuals the opportunity to speak life into another, because you're doing something right now that God has called you to do, and you're stepping out on faith. Queen, it's going beyond what you even thought about. So get ready. You ready?
Don't make
You
me
ready?
cry. We haven't gotten into the conversation yet.
You already know how I do this. Come on. I'm going to tell the truth. Because if I don't speak it over you right now, you're going to think about it later on. And you told individuals you run out of finances. No, you didn't run out of finances at all. You just got ready to step into a deeper level of faith, because a lot of times we want to do things and we say we're not going to move because I don't have the finances. And that was me. Broke, flat out broke, a mess. But God said, don't worry about the finances. I gave you a vision. And as long as I gave you the vision and you're moving in my order, it's already taken care of.
It's
So Queen, bless you.
already done.
It's already done.
Oh, I needed that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Why don't we get started by just you taking the opportunity to tell people who you are today? Who are you? Who is Dr. Shenetta today? And then we'll take it all the way back.
No worries, no worries. Well, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Dr. SHENETTA Malkiah, the Empowered Life Queen, and I received my honorary doctorate degree just this February 2022, and I just thank God for it, because it was something that was unexpected. To have a doctorate title, have 4 PhD degrees that was honorary given from the McForminsdale Christian Academy. I was just in awe. So to tell you who I am, because it's not about the titles, it's not about what I do, but I'm a woman that was broken. I was completely broken. I'm a suicide attempt survivor. And what God has allowed me to do today is survive and come over all of the trauma that I've gone through, from bullying, from domestic violence, from suicide ideation, and now to take my story and now to help other individuals live and not die alone in pain, and to help you understand that they don't gotta be perfect, because I'm far from perfect. But it's got to be real, and it's got to be authentic. If we take these masks off, oh my goodness, we can heal so many people. So let's get into this, Queen.
You just said, you know what you just said? A whole book. Where's your book?
So I got 2. I am a contributing author to 2 books right now. My first one was the story that I did with Bashan Shaw, The Unstoppable Warrior Woman, and that was my very first anthology. My second one that I absolutely loved, and I got a little bit more deeper, and that was called Dear Broken Girl. Just a story to myself, from the woman that I am today to the broken woman that I was before. And that one was in the Fearless Woman Rocks Volume 3, and that was with Dr. Missy Johnson. And so now I have a new anthology, and so this one is called And Then We Heal, and that'll be released this December. In 2023, no more anthologies. You will get the full story of SHENETTA Malkiah. So I released my book in 2023, and today I'm a real estate broker. Today, you know, I'm the founding president for Empowerment Essence, a nonprofit organization serving Maryland, DC, Virginia, where we focus on suicide ideation, and we focus on suicide prevention and anti-bullying. So that is who I am today, because these are the things that God has allowed me to overcome.
Yes.
And it didn't look like this, and I never knew I was going to do this. I never knew I was going to be speaking. I never knew I was going to be writing. I never even thought that I was going to come out of my depression or anxiety. I never even knew that I can step out of the shell and the boxes that I kept putting myself in, because that's what life kept throwing at me.
Wow. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's go back to help people understand the onset of trauma for you, because I imagine it wasn't just one incident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk about the onset of it, and let's just keep going and talk us through, you know, how you got from one point to another point, and then the next one, and then how you finally transitioned to knowing who you are, and you're beautifully and wonderfully made, and you're walking and living in that right now.
Queen, well, first of all, I must say it's a continual process. It's a continual work, because, see, the trauma that went on, and while the trauma has ended, the healing process will always continue. So where did this start for me? First, it started for me as a broken child. My father was incarcerated. I never had him in my life. The bullying started for me in the 5th grade and continued to the 10th grade. I was jumped. I was about, wait a minute, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I was about 105, 105 pounds, okay, soaking wet. I had this short, a little itty bitty thing. And they kept telling me I was ugly. They told me I wanted to model. They told me I wasn't going to model. I had this short hair. So today I found out that I suffer with alopecia. And I've learned that after buying all these products that was the medical condition that I had. So there's certain things that I just can't do with my hair. And I never understood that. But others didn't understand that. So from the bullying, then I went through rape as a 16-year-old. Then I went through the photographer taking modeling images of me, and they would wind up being pornographic images that I don't don't even know where they are today. Then I went through domestic violence in my late 30s. I went through exotic dancing. I went through not knowing who I was. I went through losing friends. I went through conforming and trying to fit into every single box, getting somebody to love me, trying to be accepted, trying to find out who I was because they already ripped me apart when I was a child. And that's what bullying does. It tears you apart. So when you're just starting to develop and have ideas, emotions, starting to explore, when somebody rips you apart at that very beginning, you start keeping your head down like this. And that's what I used to do. I used to walk with my head down because I was ashamed. I didn't think that I had worth or I had power. I didn't think I had any strength. I didn't think I meant anything to anyone because, see, the adults in my life, they was like, you're going to be like your daddy. And my father was incarcerated. So I speak to our parents today. Watch the words you speak over your children, regardless of the relationship that you had with their parents. Men, women, watch that.
I was going to ask you about that, about the adults in your life, like your mom, or can you talk a little bit about,
I can.
As in elementary school being bullied and what you went through?
So a lot of youth today, and a lot of people say, Shenetta, where is your mom? My mother worked 2 jobs. We were, as I grew up, we weren't the closest. As I continued to heal and I went through counseling, I went through different additional traumas, going into group home. My mother had to put me out. I had to go stay with family members because people didn't understand that the anger, my behavior at that time was coming from the trauma that had not healed. You know, going from rape and then you're going to meet with attorneys and they tell you, well, are you sure you're going to go through with this? Because all of your negative is going to come out. So how does that make you feel? It's a slap in the face on top of what you already gone through. And a lot of victims do not come out and speak out because they don't want to be shamed. They're tired of being beat up. So for me, it was the bullying. For me, it was the rape. For me, it was the constant teasing. For me, it was not having my father. And when I think about the adults in my life, everybody was so consumed with their regular life, working, school, taking care of the family. Nobody really tapped into what I was going through. And so what they told you at the time was, sticks and stones will break your bones, words never hurt you. That's a lie, and please don't ever say that to nobody else. They do hurt. Because the words that they spoke over me as a child, oh, those words continued with me until my adult years. And then when I trickled and got into a relationship, see, and this is what happens when you're broken. So when you're broken and you don't heal, and then you attach yourself to other individuals, and that's how you develop that codependency. And I had codependency issues. So not only did I have the issues of not believing in myself, not thinking I had any worth, not thinking I had any value, thinking that I had to conform to other individuals, going through the rape, going through all of these different traumas, and not going through counseling. Oh, that hurt. So then in my adult years, when you just have all these building blocks, because that's what happens, there wasn't just one event that led to my suicide attempt. There were building blocks and individuals that missed the signs, missed the silent cries, which is why I'm so passionate about making sure individuals can understand when a person is going through crisis, because it doesn't look like what everybody thinks it looks like. You know, I was sitting right in front of people that I was broken and crying on the inside, but I had a mask on, I had a smile on, and they never knew. What if you could look a little bit deeper as to what you see today? What if you saw somebody today and you saw a child that's behavior that was ridiculous and you don't know where it's coming from, but you don't realize that that child may have gone through sexual trauma. And so now they're on a defense at all grounds. They want to be protected. They just want to make sure nobody can touch them. And one of the things that I'll say is that when you're going through the healing process, if you don't have people speaking life into you, because, you know, you hear about church and God saved me. Make that very clear. God saved me. I didn't have no insurance. I didn't go to no counselor. I had one counselor as a child, Miss Gail Jackson, the Pathfinder Project in Maryland. And if Miss Gail, if the Pathfinder Project is still here, thank you. Because I used to go to her office as a teenager and doodle. And she used to let me doodle and I wouldn't talk to her. But she used to take the time, and when she broke those layers down, she said, wow, there's a child, an individual inside that was just crying. A pastor sat me on her lap in my adult years and rocked me and said, you just wanted your mama to do this. How many grown women today still need their mama to go like this? And I'm thankful because my mother's a pastor. And I thank her for the love that she poured into me. But see, you got to understand that our parents and our family members can only give us the love that they know. And when individuals are going through healing, we have to make sure our expectations are reasonable. So what does that look like for me? That looked like me saying it's not so much about what I did not receive anymore, because God was going to show me how to feel. He was going to fill me up in every empty void. So me trying to attach myself to men, attach myself to women, attach myself to things that all wind up leaving me, okay? Flat out gone. They were like, Shenetta, why are you single today, Bill? Because I made bad decisions, because I didn't know who I was, because I went through domestic violence. And now today I say I will stay grounded in what I am doing and who God says that I am, and I won't compromise myself. I won't put myself through any additional trauma, because, you know, you're moving and trying to get into other things, but you're not healed. So where I'm at today, the woman that I am today, is I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I like what I see. Whether somebody else doesn't like it, I know that I'm not the things that I've been through, but I know those things have shaped me. But now I have not let them terrorize me and take over my life in a negative direction. So all I can say to you today, right now today, the woman, SHENETTA MALKIA h.c, and they gave this doctorate title. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I still you got to get used to saying this. But I do. But what I'll say is that God has allowed me to move in a different direction, where I don't look, my makeup is not like anybody else. I'm not built like anybody else, and that's okay. I like who I am today, and I understand that my healing process is continual. And I understand that even the people that victimized me, oh, I forgive them too, and I ask God to bless them and heal them, because that's the ultimate goal for me as a woman, to see every individual healed and delivered, because we don't want to be this way. Sometimes life deals with some cards, and until we unmask ourselves and say it doesn't have to be this way, we conform to our circumstances.
Woo. Woo. I gotta take a breath. Doctor, so you said God saved you. When did God become that person in your life? You know what I mean? Like, when did that happen for you?
When everything else was gone. I was brought up in the church, but I would go to church and I would sit in the balcony and I was like this. And I didn't want to be there. And my mama had me there because she was on the dance ministry and she was a pastor, so I was sitting in there. And I thank God for my youth ministers, because they kept praying. And they was like, Shenetta, you're going to do something great. And I'm sitting there and I don't want to be bothered. And I ain't listening to nobody. But what I didn't realize is those seeds were being planted. So I'll encourage and tell everybody, keep planting those seeds, because see, what I didn't know is that the seeds that they were planting at that time were going to be the things that helped me build me up later. So when I lost my job, I was on vacation in Jamaica and I had a roommate trying to help somebody. And I lost my job. I was on vacation. I was in Jamaica. I got back home, no job. Okay? And this is when you find out who your real friends are, because when you lit and you party and you turned up, oh, everybody is there. They're going to party with you. But when you lose things, you're going to lose people. And it's okay.
And that's something, it's okay.
It didn't feel okay, though. I was in the bed. I was having a pity party. And when I laid on that floor and I asked God, why? He gave me a video I had in my house. My former roommate had left a video there. And it was from Joyce Myers, and it said, God loves me.
Oh.
When I put this video in, I wept. I was saved. I got baptized as a teenager. I knew who God was. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior, but I had not developed my own relationship. That's the difference. See, because being preached to and preached at is very different from when you're seeing individuals walking that out. And then when you start developing and hearing the word for yourself and going to God and speaking to Him and the Holy Spirit and breaking it down for you so you understand. So they can't feed you with these rules. And I learned about grace. Oh, life changed for me. So I knew that God was still there because He was uplifting me. I knew He was still there because even though I had lost my job, I hadn't lost my home. I knew that no matter who had left me, He was still providing for me. I was going to the grocery store with like $25 and I didn't know how I was going to make it. I was praying for money to get to church and didn't know how I was going to get back home, and somebody would sow a seed into my life for gas. Like the jobs that I lost and the way God replaced them. Oh my goodness, the way that God has turned things around. I was the underdog, and now I can provide opportunities to other individuals that were not avoided and provided for me.
Look at God, though. It just brings tears to my eyes. And these aren't tears of sadness. These are just tears of, I know what she's talking about. And I know what you're saying is so real. God God is so real, and he will pull you out of the trenches.
Yes.
Like nobody else.
Like, and that's the thing with, and I just recently heard that this week, actually, I heard a pastor speaking about it. He said, you really don't have a problem until it can't be solved other than God. When I was going through domestic violence, and when the gentleman had a screwdriver to my neck and was going to pull my eye out, all I could tell him was, that's not you, that's the devil. God said, God wouldn't have you do that. And I promise you, all I could do was sit there. I stood on that bathroom wall crying in tears, scared for my entire life. And God kept me alive that night. I remember crying to God before, God, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? How long are you going to let me have to go through this? And God removed it. But I also will say this, God will speak to us through so many different avenues, and sometimes we miss it. And I think that there were so many things that I missed because I was still holding on to a past trauma that just weren't at the time healed and necessary. So one of the things that I truly had to accept was the fact that my past wasn't going to be my future. You know, the things that I have been through, it wasn't going to be the permanent situation. Even through the domestic violence, even going through the depression, even still building myself up today, when you still having those flashbacks, you still got to be able to get up and say, God is my strength. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, with tears in your eyes, you got to say, God loves me.
God,
I'm telling you, with no money in the bank, you got to say, God
God
loves
loves
me.
me. Yes.
And that I'm going to make it.
Yes. Yes, I thought tonight I was going to be in charge, but you done took over and I'm in counseling.
And you know, and it's funny that you say that, because just talking is a healing. And what I want to encourage so many people, because you hear a lot of people say, and I speak about this a lot, you don't have to be a medical professional to help somebody. You don't have to be a
Right.
licensed therapist to help somebody. You just have to have a genuine ear, a genuine heart, and be able to connect them with the resources, because God will give you the words.
Yep.
God will give you the Holy Spirit will drop into you what a person needs at that very moment.
At that
And I
moment.
can't tell you how many therapists individuals have to go through to find the one that they connect to.
Right.
Therapy is amazing. It's amazing. Just find the right therapist. And even if you are working in the mental health industry, take care of yourself. Therapists need therapists.
Therapists
And then
need
take these
therapy.
masks off. Please stop acting like everything is cute. Please stop driving everybody talking about how much money they got to make. That makes you a boss. No, it does not. A
Mm,
boss is a person that can take those masks off and say, let me lift you up without me having to get anything in return. That's a boss.
that's a boss.
That's a boss.
That's a boss. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to follow through with this project, because so many women and men too now have come to me to tell me that listening to these stories every week has been life altering for them. So I will not give up, and I refuse to let this go.
Well, we're sowing a seed into you. I'm sowing a seed into you. So for your next two shows, they paid for. That's my seed. That's my donation to you. Your next two shows, they paid for. And that's just from Empowerment Essence to you. Because what I'm going to make sure that we do is we're going to keep this going. And I challenge anybody that's on this feed tonight, match me. Match me. Let's keep this going, because I want you to share this, because this is nothing but a work of God. You don't get individuals that are genuinely trying to help another person without asking for anything. A lot of people right now, all these coaching projects you see, everybody charging for you to be a part of something and to get into a group. We cutting all that out.
No,
Let's cut it
right?
out. Let's just
No.
be there for your
Let's
sister
just
queen
be
for
there for
real.
each other for real. And
For real, for real.
that's what this has been all about. And some weeks it's me that's being able to give something to someone else that they need. But then there's some weeks like today where you're able to give something to me that I didn't even know I needed. I didn't even know. And I'm
Amen.
so grateful. I'm so grateful. I I do want to ask you if you're comfortable sharing, because I have a personal experience with this suicide. Um, are you able to share like what age you were?
Yes, yes, we can talk about that.
Let's talk
So
about.
my suicide attempt for me was in my mid-20s. At that time, I was in a homosexual relationship. I had been with my lover for about 5 years. That relationship came to an end. The reason that this was so traumatic for me is because I attached myself to my lover. My lover became who I was, and so without my lover, I felt like that was it. I was her and she was me. Without her in my life, I felt like there was nothing else. Because everything from the broken trauma from the teenage year, that's when I got with her. That's when we got together. I was graduating from high school, going to college, and I had a girlfriend. And she was older than me. And I was happy. And I was in love. And you couldn't tell me nothing. And so she was
Girl.
there. She was my like she was literally my everything. I made her my everything. You saw me, you saw her. You saw her, you saw me. It was like white on rice. It was like freaking frack, Tom and Jerry. It was that. I needed
Right.
that. And so I fed off of that. So when that relationship came to an end and things started spiraling and falling apart, I fell apart. Because see, now I'm starting to judge myself again, and I really felt that what they said before was true. I'm not attractive. I can't keep my girlfriend. I don't have what it takes to maintain a relationship. And I had not seen a healthy relationship. So I'm in a relationship. I hadn't seen a healthy relationship. I know nothing about healthy relationships. And now I'm hurting my girlfriend because I'm so scared to be by myself. Everybody has the right to walk away. You know when something's not good for you. And
Mm,
nobody should try to force you to stay into anything. And that's what I did.
you did.
It was frightening for me. And I remember the police officer speaking to me in that hospital. It was like the toughest love I ever received. She asked me, the police officer, she said, "Do you think that what you're going through is worth you taking your life?" And she didn't let me answer. She told me no.
Mm,
Okay? She told me no.
she
And she answered for me. And I was in a horrible state. I was in a daze. I couldn't tell you what was left, what was right. I remember when I got home, my roommate at the time had put a Bible on my bed. And I also lost my roommate at that time. And I thank you, Tondalea, because she was there for me. She put that Bible on my bed, and she just reminded me of who was with me. My family didn't find out about it until I was in my mid 30s, at 34 years old, when I won the title of Miss Maryland, United States. That's when I started my nonprofit organization in 2014. That's when I really, really got active in suicide prevention and awareness. I joined the Governor's Commission for Suicide Prevention for the state of Maryland. I served there from 2014 to 2019. Empowerment Essence, we started producing the Bully Free Beautiful Me workshop like we're having this Saturday. So if you are here and if you have a teenager that is age 7 to 16, we are going to be at Dave & Buster's in Capitol Heights this Saturday from 11:30 until 2, and we're doing our annual anti-bullying event. This year it's called Bully Free Beautiful Me. Bully Free, the T is me. Talented, educated, and authentic. That is our theme this year. So
I
we're going into entrepreneur. You got to come out, Terry. If you come out Saturday, you got a free ticket. Come on out, meet some of the queens. We're doing this hybrid. It's the only event, right? But you can follow Empowerment Essence. You can follow my page also. But come on out, bring the youth. We're going to talk about what it is to overcome bullying. We're going to talk about how bullying relates to suicide. We're going to talk about an introduction to Safe Talk, which is suicide alertness for everyone, so that everybody, no matter who you are, you can become aware of an individual that may be in crisis, and you may be now able to refer them to help. So
I mm, this
this
was
is just
very
what.
needed. This was very timely this week. I can't say on this live feed why, but I will share it with you personally why this was very, 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 very timely. And God does not make any mistakes. You were supposed to be on here on this very day, um, and I'm very grateful for that as well.
Thank you. And I want to make sure everybody, the 1-800-273-TALK, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and then they have 988. Please, please, it's okay to not be okay, but don't not be okay alone. Please use the number. There's no stigmas, no shame in asking for help. I
Mm.
wish I asked for help. I
That's what I
wish
was.
I
My next
asked for
question
help.
was for you, for someone, for these young people, Dr. Shenetta, that are struggling, like preteens. I would say, like 10, 11, 12, 13, that age, that peculiar stage, struggling with their sexual identity, struggling with them not feeling pretty. You know, this Instagram and stuff got these
This
people
Instagram,
making,
these Instagram models and these content creators and
yeah,
everybody acting like it's you. Yeah, it's we don't. Let me tell you, they called me ugly. I look nothing. So I am 43 today. I just turned 43 on the past Monday. I was in the DR. I was
yeah,
having fun. I
happy
was hanging
belated
out. Thank
birthday.
you, thank you, thank you. And when I share my picture, and I'm actually going to send it to you, and I want you to share this picture. I'm going to send it to you later on tonight.
Okay.
When you look at this picture of me at 13 years old, and this is for all my youth out there, baby, you get better with time.
I like fine
Baby.
wine.
I'm gonna tell you something. We get better. It's funny because I look nothing like I did as a teenager. The grace that God has given me, I still maintain my youth. I don't look like I'm in my 40s, and God has given me that so that I can continue minister to our youth. Our youth need to understand that when you're going through suicide ideation, or you're being bullied, or you've reported this to your administrators at school and they're not listening to you, or you go back home and you're speaking to your parents and nobody's hearing you, I want you to pick up the phone, 1-800-273-TALK, or call me, 240-601-3950, because I will advocate for you. I get it. What
I
you're
love that.
facing,
I
I will
love that.
advocate, because our kids are going through too much. What the teachers are saying in the schools is that I got too many kids to be worrying about one child that's getting bullied. Well, here's my reaction to that. One child that I lose to suicide is one too many. Okay? And we lose quite a few youth every single year. Suicide is the third leading cause of death for youth, ages 7 to 14.
Mm,
Every 30 seconds, somebody is attempting suicide.
mm, mm,
You
mm.
just don't hear about it.
All right, you just don't
Okay?
hear about it
And it's the
until it gets
iceberg
close.
effect. It's close. It's what the kids are going through. First of all, they're living up to the parents' expectations trying to get through school. Some of these babies don't have nobody at home to help them. Some of them don't even have no food. Some of them are the parents taking care of the other babies. Some of them are being bullied in the school. Some of
Mm.
them are being bullied by administrators and some of the teachers that don't think that they are valuable themselves. But I'm going to tell you something. Every child in your classroom that walks through that door is valuable. If you take a moment to look past what you see, look for the potential in that baby, help that child heal, and your hands are not tied, you
Mm.
can help. You can
Yes, we
pray.
can. Yes, yes.
It takes a village, and if we get back to that, to being a genuine village, putting our hands around these kids, putting our hands around the parents, because some of the parents won't come out and speak up because they feel like they're not educated. You got some babies that have babies and they scared, like, I can't go in there and speak up on behalf. They looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't have no job. Sis, king, queen, yes you do. You have a
Mm.
voice. You belong in the room. Get into that school. Get involved into those programs. You know what's not going on. If your child's not being educated properly, if your child is not learning, if your child comes home and say, "Ma, the teacher did A, B, and B, A, B, and C," or "This happened in school," please listen.
Mm.
These babies are going through at schools and colleges and universities while their children are dying by suicide because of all the pressure. We have to make sure that we are living true, balanced, well-balanced, mentally well-stable lives. And the only way we do that is to take some of this pressure off of each other and to support one another in every category and every area of our lives that we possibly
That's
can.
what we need. We need more of that. And I can't say that enough to those of you all on this live feeds. Please, this is something we need in the universe. We need this to spread. Instead of all of the other craziness, we need this. This is what we
Yeah.
need. Because
We
our
just want to
next
heal.
generation, they are, I'm concerned.
I
I'm
want to
really,
invite you. We can invite, I think that we can come together. What you're doing right here, Terry, is the start. We're going to start a new group called Moms Against Bullying. So the
okay.
best way for us to support one another is to come together just like this.
Yes.
We have our Crown Check 1212 events. We do that every year. This year is Crown Check 1212, the release. We normally go overseas. I have a new grandson and a new granddaughter this year that I'll be staying home with for the holidays. So we won't, but we will be having it in the DMD. Crown Check 1212, the release will happen in January 2023. We're going to be at the Busboy and Poets in Hyattsville. So look for that information.
And
But it's about healing. It's healing time, Queens. We're not
whatever
going
I
into
can do.
2023 the same, and we're
Yep.
not finishing 2022 the way we started it.
I'm with it. Sign me up, honey. I am ready. I share the same mindset of what is needed and what we've got to do.
Amen.
And I want
Amen.
to be obedient to God and do what He has me out here to do. And I'm going to be obedient.
You already are. You walking in it. I'm so
Yes.
excited for you. You already doing it.
I am. I really am. I'm just so grateful for women like you. And I appreciate you being on here with me tonight. I do. I know that you are changing lives. I can see by the comments in here that you are already impacting those in a mighty, mighty way.
I
And
thank you. I just want to help one life. Our motto for Empowerment Essence is one life saved is one life given. So if I can just touch one person and give one person hope to keep going, even when it's dark, when you don't know what you're doing, when everybody is by yourself, because a lot of things you're going to do is by yourself. My real estate firm, I started it by myself. My real estate brokerage, I started it by myself. Property management firm, Empowerment Essence, these are things that I started by myself, and then God sent me to help. Because you got to get proper help.
you got to get the right
Proper
help.
help. You're
Yes, you
not going to
do.
link up with everybody. Everybody's not going to understand your vision. And some things you're waiting to birth and start right now. But God said, I'm not asking you to wait for anybody else. I asked you to do it.
And
So do
move.
it.
Do it.
It's some businesses on here that's getting ready to be birthed, but I don't know when they're going to get launched. So y'all come on with it. I want to know about the businesses. And I'm going to be following because I want to see, because there's some businesses that need to be launched, but the individuals have not launched them because they felt like they couldn't. They feel like they won't get the support. But launch the business.
And I want
Launch
to
it.
tell you, launch it. She is what she just said, you all, is correct. I want to tell you with this trauma to triumph, when God put this in my spirit and I severed ties, or my job severed ties with me, whichever way you want to look at it. God said, you're going to be all right. Go. He gave me the green light. And I just started moving. And let me tell you something. And people like yourself have started catching on, and they started helping me. And here I
One step.
am.
He just said one step. I
You
got you.
take a
One
step, and
step.
then he got, yes, yes. So,
And it doesn't have to be, and it's not like anybody else. And this is what I also say, because a lot of us are looking, and I'm now in year 3 for my real estate brokerage and my property management firm. It takes your first 5 years, that's the birth stage. So please stop beating yourself up. I don't know where you are. You might be in the vision stage. You just wrote the vision down. You just made it plain. And now you're getting ready to go on to the next steps. 5 years, give yourself time. And don't do it
girl,
like nobody else. Do it like you and what God tells you to do it like.
right, like what he says to me. Girl, can you
Yes.
imagine the conversation we're going to have in 5 years from today?
It's going to be ridiculous. Can you imagine the number of lives you're going to be there touched?
Mm, I can't. I have to admit, I can't even imagine it right now. Like, I'm sure that what God has for this is going to blow my mind.
Most
I'm,
certainly. He said we can't imagine. Our eyes have
right,
not seen, our ears have not heard. So we
right.
just going to keep thinking about this way. He going to say, ooh, you have no clue. But we got to get ready because it's time. It's happening. It's
It's
happening indeed.
happening, honey. It is happening. And I'm so grateful to have you as part of this project. I just drafted you just now as part of this project, not just for tonight.
Thank you. I'm on board. Enough said. I am in. I'm excited. I'm on board.
Yes, thank you so much. I love you for your yes. For those of you all who tuned in after I introduced myself, I'm going to say again, I am Terry Long. This is Trauma to Triumph. We are healing millions of people. I'm claiming it right now. We're going to heal millions of all ethnicities, all age groups, all backgrounds, because we're going to share our stories, and stories are healing. Just like you said earlier, sometimes you don't need a medical certificate or a life coach certificate. You need a heart for God and allow him to use you. And that's what I am allowing him to do with me, with Trauma to Triumph. And I believe in it 1000%. I believe we're going to heal millions more through the
Yeah.
sharing of our stories, because our stories is a legacy. What we're doing is we're leaving a legacy for people that's coming along. And that is what is making God proud of Terry. So,
Go, Terry! Yay!
so thank you so much. Let's see, I wanted to get into some of the comments before I let you go. I don't have that many tomorrow, not 5 years. Someone wanted to know, did you feel yourself getting healed as you were writing your parts of the two books that are out right now? Was that therapeutic for you?
It was, but I will tell you, my healing process started before. So, writing these two parts in these books came from my notes. So, I have so many notes. God speaks to me through movies and through different sermons. So, I will literally watch movies and I'll get healed from watching movies and seeing different situations, and the Holy Spirit will speak to me and I can relate to it. So, a lot for me was the confirmation and the forming of sharing this story with somebody else because the healing process already started. What it did allow me to do was go deeper, because what I learned is that there's a time, even in this last one, and then we heal. What I realized is that when I say I was healed on one level, something would trigger me and I realized I still have more healing to do. And that's why I say it's a continual work. You know, I ask God to help me with the triggers, because now I don't want to keep reacting to the same the triggers that I had the way that I did before. And that's when I realized that I'm healing on deeper levels, because the things that triggered me before, I couldn't go into certain neighborhoods after going through the things that I went through. I couldn't be around certain people. So when I can go into that neighborhood now and I can drive through it, I know that I've healed in that area. So I'm going deeper. So, and that's all it did, was allow me to go deeper and recognize any areas that I still was not healed. And it made me ask God, where else do I need healing? Because there were still areas that I didn't realize I needed to be healed in.
I love it. I love it. Someone else, oh, my husband is on here. He wants to know what the book titles are again. What are your book titles again for those who want?
Yes. So the first one, and both of you can find on Amazon. I do have some copies at the house as well. And then so for Unstoppable Warrior Woman with Rashawn Shaw, the Unstoppable Warrior Woman Project, that is on Amazon. You can grab that there. Fearless Woman Rock Volume 3, my chapter is Dear Broken Girl. You can actually visit dearbroken.girl.com and you can purchase the book from myself, or you can go to Amazon and purchase it. If you purchase from me, it's $25. I sign it, I mail it right on out to you. If you go to Amazon, you can just order it and boom, there you go. The new one that's going to come out is now with Dr. Gigi. And this one is, and then we heal. That will be released this December, and we're going to do a virtual launch for that one. And my book will come out in 2023.
I'm so, so excited for you and for what's ahead for you. If there's anything, and I mean anything, and it could just be, Terry, can you just bring me a glazed donut from 70?
Listen.
I got you.
Thank you. And I love glazed donuts. That's what we need.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Listen, I'm all about snacks. So.
Yes. How do we follow? Someone wants to know, how do they follow you?
Yes, please. So please follow SHENETTA MALKIA. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. And then follow Empowerment Essence. The website for us is empowermentessence.org, and that's for suicide prevention, anti-bullying. You can go to there and you can look at all of our trainings, because we do offer the trainings for the community. The introduction to Safe Talk is an hour-and-a-half training where we speak to you about what we actually teach you in the Safe Talk training. The Safe Talk certification training is a 4-hour training that you actually leave with a certification, and it's myself and another community resource. We really dive into what you can do in your community to help bring zero suicides to your community. Now, if you need help on the real estate side, you need to sell your house, you need to buy a house, that's the PMsofthecity.com, and I would love to help you. If you're looking to lease, or you're an owner and you have investment properties, especially in DC, and the resident's not paying rent, or you having those type of issues, reach out to me. I'll get them out. So we'll make it look like magic.
I love it. I love everything you stand for, and I'm so serious about that. You don't have to know a person a long time to connect. And like I said, when I met you I was there by myself. I was there alone.
You too.
And I just felt like, I hope she says yes. I really want this woman to come and be a part of Trauma to Triumph. Just based on a little bit that I heard. You didn't even speak that much. It was just a smidgen.
Well, how long did we have? We got I pitched. We had 3 minutes?
Yes. You had maybe 3 minutes, and you captured my heart in that 3 minutes. And I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. This has been amazing, just sharing and speaking with you. I'm excited for you. Please send me the link so I can go ahead and make this payment for these next 2 shows. Please, yes, Queen. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. I'm excited. And I'm still challenging everybody here to come on. 2 shows.
Come on.
Come
She
on with it.
challenging
Come on with
y'all.
it. No,
Listen,
donate. Do what you can. Y'all already have done so much. Share the
yes,
word. Bring more
yes.
individuals. And just thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I second what she just said. You all know if you have someone who has a story to share, please send them to me. My email is info@trauma2triumph.com. We're turning this into a documentary. We're going to get it filmed. I'm claiming it. We're going to be able to move forward with everything
Amen.
that I have in mind for this project. We also have a website that you can go and share your story that way, and it's www.trauma2triumph.com. I thank you all very much for tuning in. We will have another amazing story for you next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. And I am just saying again, I can't say thank you all enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mwah. Bless you, Terry. Queen, you're amazing.
So it
Amazing.
takes one to know one. And don't
Thank
forget to
you.
send me that picture too.
Oh, I'm sending you that picture.
Real,
Yeah,
one,
and
one.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you the picture then, and I'm gonna send you what I look like today.
Yes, and one other quick question if I have a teenager, not me personally, but if I know of one who has tried to commit suicide and they don't want to open up to their parents about why and what's going on, is the number that you've been calling out the best number for someone that is like, underage and they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents about why they tried to commit suicide?
Yeah, so here's what I'll say about that. So a lot of parents, their youth won't open up to them, and you want to build that relationship, and sometimes it's shame, and sometimes the stigma that's tied to it. A couple of things that I'm going to recommend. One, try to get your child into therapy, and they may be resistant in initial. If they don't like their therapist, try another one. BetterHelp.com is a therapy session that's one that I use. The Pathfinder Project, if Miss Gail is still out there. You also have Kinder, and I'll send you some of these resources so you have some different options. But what I would first is say, try to have the conversation. Make sure we give them some space, but also try to make sure we connect them with somebody they feel comfortable to. Yes, they can reach out to the suicide prevention hotline. That's the crisis hotline, the national number, 1-800-273-TALK. If anybody is in crisis, a child, an adult, a senior, because everybody goes to suicide ideation. If a child is in need of help, reach out. If you know that your child has gone through a traumatic event, you may reach out to us at Empowerment Essence, and that's 240-601-3950. I mentor and I speak to different youth just to make sure that they are heard and they're supported, and they will open up in their own time. The best thing that you can do is be there for them and just give them that space to open up, because when I woke up from my suicide attempt, let me tell you something, as an attempt survivor, I was hurt that I couldn't even kill myself. That's one. And two, now I was embarrassed because I had to explain it to other people.
Right. You were still alive and you had to explain it.
And I still had to face everything that I had to face before. But this is what I'm going to say that I will say to anybody that even contemplates suicide. And I wish somebody would have spoke this to me then. Had I completed my suicide attempt, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I wouldn't be able to tell you about the other side of the rainbow from my pit. From the pit to the palace. And God is still building and healing.
That's it right there. We can end this now. That's it. I thank you, Queen. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait to continue building with you.
Let's go, Queen. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Let's do it. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you all so much.